Hi there and welcome to Yoga with Bunny. My name is Bunny and I'm passionate about yoga and Pilates. I teach both equally and love both equally. Both have such great benefits to the body. I also teach from my home studio, which I'm in now, delivering this to you, and you're watching from home. So it's a real pleasure to have you join. And we're going to be working on lots of different types of yoga, but mainly hatha to build strength. And I'd really like you to enjoy the process and never ever push yourself, and really listen to your body. And if anything isn't right for you, then you're just going to stop with that and just listen to those signals. So some days you may have strong days, some days you may have days where you need to just draw things back a little bit. So those signals from your body will enable you to decide what's right for you at that time. And your yoga practice is always so different from practice to practice, even if you do the same class over and over again. And to be honest, I do encourage you to do that. Now, with these catch-up classes, the live classes of catch-ups, you are able to do that. So you can go and find the class that you did a couple of days ago and you can repeat it. And I promise you it'll be so much different because you'll know the moves, you'll know the asanas, you'll understand more about how your body responds to that particular asana, so the pose. And if something didn't feel right one day, it might feel right the next, and vice versa. So as we move through, we have a few little bits of equipment that aren't essential, but I do advise you to have in your yoga kit. One is a mat. So the first one, is just going to enable you to not slip on your carpet or your hard floor. It's going to protect your knees. And a yoga mat is very different from a Pilates mat because it's thinner. So these are thinner and they're also non-slip. So the Pilates mat, actually, which I have underneath, is made of thicker material. So depending on what I'm doing, sometimes I will layer them up like this. Otherwise, I would just use one or the other. Now, also, I've got here a folded up scarf. It's a big like pashmina scarf. And these are really good to use for all sorts of things. So if your knees are a little bit iffy, you can put them underneath your knees when we come into like a kneeling lunge or any type of position where we have our knees down. Also, because you can unfold it and change the shape, you can adjust it for whatever you need. So a scarf, a towel, something that you can sort of keep in your kit and it makes you feel quite good. So it might have a nice memory against it, a scarf that you bought on holiday or somebody bought you for Christmas, or that a nice present can also be something that will be nice for your practice. And again, these can be unfolded. So when we do some relaxation and shavasana, you can then unfold and place it over the top of you. Yeah, when you're lying down on your mat. So you can see how lovely and big this scarf is. And also you can use them to just roll up and drape over your eyes. So all sorts of things. A really good little item to have in your kit. Now, as well, some of the asanas we do will require a strap, and with the strap, these are rigid straps, so they are hard. They don't bend. They're not like resistance bands. And in my practice, I like to always keep a loop in the end of the strap because it just enables me to quickly put my foot in it, or I can hold it with my hand, and I haven't got to worry about if my foot's going to slip out or if I can't tie it round or anything like that. Now, if you don't have anything like this in your kit if you're new, or you know, you can use whatever you can find around your house. There's lots of things that we can use. So dressing gown cord, for example, can be quite good. Another really good one is if you have an old dog lead. So an old dog lead has a loop in the end already. It's not quite as long as these, and you can always cut if you don't use it anymore and you know someone who's might have one, you can just cut the metal bit off the end and then burn it so it doesn't fray. So, you know, just use your have a scout around your house and use what you can ever find for a strap. Again, you can use a hand towel, or you can use your scarf. So another useful thing for these is to, you know, unravel them, make them long, and then you can use them for holding on if you can't, or maybe like if you can't reach your foot. So again, very useful for that with your scarf. Now I'm going to come on to blocks. Blocks are a very, very useful bit of kit. Now I have 5 different blocks here. Sorry, I have 5 blocks, 3 different types. My preference is yoga bricks, and I generally only use these really in my practice. Now these are really, really hard. If you are going to buy any kit, it's always worth asking me, sending me a text or posting in the Facebook page and ask, and I can send you some links and things like that. Now the reason why I like bricks rather than blocks is I just find they're more stable. So they have a wider base, yeah. But please don't buy cheap ones. If you buy cheap ones, they will just buckle, yeah, when you put any type of pressure on them. So for example, if we were in a triangle pose, I'm just going to come into this quick, and we needed to put our weight onto the block like this, if we couldn't reach, okay, and it was squishy, then it's going to, you know, it's going to squash down and make us feel quite unstable. So they're my preference, and using 2 of them as well, because sometimes it's quite good if your hands can't reach the floor and things like that. So 2 is always good. But if you don't want to buy anything, I'm sure there's things around your house that you can use, some old books and things like that you can use. But often as well, something that you can use is like a very, very sturdy water bottle or something with the lid on. You know, you can fill it up with water and you can use that to put on the mat, and that's going to be a good base, but make sure it's quite like those square squash bottles are quite good, you know, that have cordial in, because they have a nice big base, so that could be used as well. Now I have this one here, which is a thin block, and this is hard again. This is actually a Pilates head block, but it's useful if you can't quite, you know, if you don't want something quite as thick as these blocks, or when you're laying on the mat, you can use it for the back of your head. So that can be quite useful, but not essential. And these are the other yoga blocks that you have probably seen. Again, they are strong ones. They're not going to bend. Okay, I can push my fingers into them, so they are a little bit squishy. They have a little bit of give, but they're still not going to be bending if I'm pushing my weight on them, and they're going to support me. So these ones can be a little bit wobbly, but it does depend what you want to use them for. So if, for example, we were in a pigeon pose, and I just wanted to prop up my hip, or I'm into like a 90-90 position, it would just help me to elevate my pelvis. So that can be useful as well. But just use whatever you can find. As the weeks go on, you'll know which poses you sort of need to use blocks and not. And actually, I've just found myself sitting like this. This is one of the ones where it is really useful to have a block to sit on because it elevates your pelvis. And just going to take that rounded position away from your back. Now, the last thing that I'm going to show you is a yoga bolster. And these can be, you can make one of these yourself. So if you do have an old duvet cover or something like that, you can roll some old clothing that you've got to give to the charity shop, old jumper or something like that, roll it up in it and make a tube, wrap something around it and make it really firm. Yeah, so these yoga bolsters can be used for relaxation. You can use them to sit on, you can use them to elevate your hands. Sitting on like this, and they are squashy and they do give. So you know that can be a good thing to do. Also, if ever we come into things like you know, like a back bend here, and you're finding that you need support, the bolster can give you that support. Yeah, rather than just letting your body, you know, use your elbows or etc. etc. So that's my tips for equipment, and I'm really looking forward to you joining our practice and working together. Any questions at all? I'd love to see your questions in the Facebook page, because the more that you ask questions, the more that other people will see it, because I'm sure they have the questions too. And let's just get moving together. So namaste and welcome, welcome, welcome.